Let's talk American Athletic Conference. Let's talk SMU at Memphis.
Is this our
Hey,
first game covering since Tulane
yep,
Ole Miss back in week
yep.
two?
It is our first game covering the American. And you know what?
Let's go.
All of a sudden the American race is wild. It's wild
Bro.
right now.
Oh, we are not done talking about the American. I think this week and next week, the American has my eye with Tulane, SMU, UTSA, and Memphis. Those four teams at the top, man. Not a lot of margin between them.
No, seriously. And now both of these teams, when they've run up against a really good team, teams more talented than them, they have lost. But these teams have also won the games that they're supposed to win. SMU metrically, right? Like I'm just talking like total offense, total defense. I'm not talking about like opponent adjusting stuff, right? Just they're 29th in rushing in the country. They're 20th in passing offensively. Defensively, they're 30th in rushing, 13th in passing, right? So that is they're playing at like a top 25 caliber level right now, with their one loss being to Oklahoma. Okay. They're averaging 4.7 yards per carry. That's really solid offensively. 8.1 yards per attempt on a pass. That's really solid. But Memphis is right there. They're also averaging 4.5 yards per carry, 8 yards per attempt. So offensively, SMU and Memphis look really similar. But
But, but
defensively, Memphis is really terrible. Like, I mean, really, really bad. And I've watched Memphis quite a few times. And the first time I really got to watch them was week 3 against Navy. They somehow won that game. And they just let Navy, like in the first half, it was explosive run right off the gate. And it was like, okay. And that has been a trend. They're 8-2 to the over this year, Memphis is, for good reason. Well, one, their offense is really good, but their defense is pretty abysmal. 107th in rushing, total rushing, 97th in total passing yards. They're giving up 5 yards per carry, which is 112th, and they're giving up 8 yards per attempt, which is 98th. That is abysmal. That is abysmal. And SMU, on the other hand, like their run defense has been really effective. Right, they're top 10, 3.3 yards per carry allowed. And they're 9th in giving up yards per attempt, which is 6.0 yards per attempt. Seems solid, but SMU, their schedule. I mean, let's read off their wins, shall we? Uh oh shoot, I just hit the wrong button there. Louisiana Tech, Prairie View, Charlotte, East Carolina, Temple, Tulsa, Rice, North Texas. So they got away with actually getting the most favorable schedule possible in the American, like actually the most favorite. The most favorable schedule in all of the American, it is SMU. And you know what? If JT Daniels didn't go down in that Rice game, who knows? They could have lost that game. They were on our upset meter that week. They were on our upset meter. So it was a close one possession ball game. If JT Daniels doesn't go down, they got a shot. So I think this is a blisteringly high scoring game. Like we're talking 80s, 90s, 100s, right? The over under I think is at 67 right now, 66 and a half. If you follow Dawson's Diner, if you follow us on Twitter at the Redshirt Sophomore, you can see at the bottom left hand corner. You would have gotten this at 66 earlier this week. That's where it's at. You're going to be taking the over in this game. You're going to be sitting back with your popcorn and watch the fireworks, right? So I will be. Oh, gosh. I'm going with my gut here. I'm going to do another one of those middles. I'm going to take SMU to win. I'm going to take Memphis to cover plus 7.5 because I think Memphis, they're the biggest. If I've ever seen a backdoor cover team, it would be this team. Seth Hennigan, Blake Watson, all very good. Now, Blankensee, he's injured. Their wide receiver, too. He got absolutely knocked out cold in that game last week. Will he be back? Based on what I saw from that hit, I don't think so. I'm no doctor, though, right? He could be back. Not sure. I'm assuming that he's not playing. SMU's pretty healthy. I guess Jordan Curley got hurt a couple weeks back, but he's what, their wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. So yeah, give me Memphis plus 7.5, but SMU to win straight up.
yeah, to be honest, I hate to do. I'm gonna follow you there. I think SMU gets it done in the end. I think Memphis probably back to recovers, like you said. I think that the key here, though, you mentioned Preston Stone, uber talented guy, Seth Hannigan, very productive player in his own right. I think the key here, and what I think is the best room in the conference, and one of the best rooms in the country, is that running back room for SMU. Jalen Knighton, LJ Johnson, Kamar Wheaton. Preston Stone a little bit with his legs. But like that's a really, really good three-headed monster there. All very talented guys, all productive players this year for SMU. And you mentioned it, man. Memphis is not a good football team defensively. They're really not. Over 6 yards per play given up. SMU goes over 6 yards per play themselves. You mentioned it though that the over there. The only thing that's good about the over is like SMU and Rhett Lashler. Like I think they want to put up points. Obviously, they want Preston's son to do his thing, but at the same time, like they want to win this football game. They want to win the American. And I think the best way to do that there is to run the football, control the clock, get stops when you can on defense, and really bleed that clock as much as you can. Score every time you have the ball, and don't leave it up to chance that your defense has to get a stop. And I do think SMU, you mentioned in their schedule, man, they have just not played any good quarterbacks. Even Chandler Morris, and Chandler Morris was very productive against them.
You got benched.
Yeah, exactly. And Dylan Gabriel obviously was uber productive as well when they played that first game. I do think like this team showed
can get
a little bit of bleeding, But I think this team overall is a little bit more talented than Memphis. I think they'll get it done. But regardless, though, I'm gonna be watching this game. This is awesome. This is a really, really good football game.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Say which one about the American. Say which one about the American. Like the top of the American is really good.
Yeah. Also, and here's the thing too. It's like
pretty good.
It's gonna be an awesome game to watch too, because both these teams are about middle of the road in pace of play, right? So you're gonna get like it's not gonna be too fast of a game. It's not gonna be too long of a game. It's gonna be awesome. These teams are also both top 15 in terms of penalties against, like meaning they don't get penalties, right?
Yeah.
This could be a really clean game. There could be a lot of fireworks. So another reason why I took the over as well. So I can't wait for this game. Seth Hennigan has been a baller this year. He's been a baller, as well as Preston Stone. I mean, I got their stats pulled up right here, I guess. Preston Stone, 2,600 yards, 23 touchdowns to, 6 INTs. Seth Hennigan, give me 2,800 yards, 22 touchdowns to 8 INTs. But also Seth Hennigan, he's had quite a few on the ground, as well as Preston Stone. And you said he's running back. Like Blake Watson's got 900 yards on the ground, 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a stud. So, and he looks fully healthy. So I like our pick. We've kind of, I think our picks have aligned a lot this week. We're kind of a lot on the same stuff. So we could have a really, really good week, or we might have a pretty terrible week.
Yeah. The one thing I did write down here is like, say what you want about their wins this year, but like Memphis and SMU, both teams are 8-2. There are 2 losses. Memphis in particular, Missouri looks like a really good loss right now, and they played them close.
Yeah.
In Tulane. And Tulane's probably the class of the American right now. SMU, Oklahoma, right? Top 15 team in the country, and then TCU before they kind of imploded. So I just because we haven't seen him beat a really good team or beat other good, it doesn't mean they aren't bad. Doesn't mean they are bad teams. We can still see it come November and in the conference race. But regardless, though, the American needs this one. And SMU's leaving for the ACC, right?
Yep.
Next week. So if you're Memphis and you're American, wouldn't you love to knock off your SMU but on its way out,